welcome to Mindset Monday. And my big focus today for our community and for our overall group is that motivation really is a lie. And I want to talk to the person who really started strong in January. And right now, mid-February feels a little bit, maybe you're a little tired, maybe you're worn down, maybe you were really excited. Maybe you were even fired up when you first got started. Maybe you said this was going to be your year to change things. And then reality showed up for you. Rejections, there was silence from ghosting. Maybe the layoff trauma was still sitting heavy on your chest. Memories of toxic leadership still shaping how you feel about work. Maybe it was financial pressure, family pressure, and somewhere along the way, all that positive motivation just dipped and even started to slip. And when motivation dips, most people start questioning themselves. Maybe I don't want it enough. Maybe I'm not disciplined. Maybe I'm slipping. And let me just stabilize you for a moment if you're one of those individuals that feel that way right now. And that's that motivation fluctuates. It's one of the most human things that we all really have is motivation. It rises with excitement, the dopamine, and it drops when there's rejection. It will spike when there's hope, but it also fades when there's silence. And there's nothing wrong with you. But there's a mindset shift that we've been working on since the start of January. And that is the separation of understanding that motivation is emotional, but discipline is structural. And structure is what protects you when emotion swings. We don't need motivation to show up. You just need a system to help you show up. And I was really dissecting this week. I started coming back on different podcasts that I've listened to and different great leaders that I've listened to. And one of them that took me all the way back to a field manual, and it's Jocko Willink. And if you've never heard him, he's a motivational speaker with an amazing military background. He's done some incredible things. But he was on a podcast with Sam Harris several years ago. And it made me go all the way back to that moment. And they were talking about bravery. And when they're really breaking down what bravery meant, this is what they said. And they said something simple, but very powerful. You can't fake bravery. If you're scared and you really do the thing anyway, that's just action. But bravery is action in spite of your fear. The same thing applies to discipline. Discipline isn't doing the thing when you feel inspired. Discipline is doing the thing when you don't feel like doing it. For some of you right now, opening LinkedIn is bravery. Sending another networking message is bravery. Following up after being ghosted is bravery. Rewriting your resume again is bravery. And doing it when you don't feel like it. Now that's discipline. And here's where we separate this from the hustle culture that's out there all over LinkedIn. Discipline is not intensity. Discipline is repeatability. Anyone can go hard for a week. You've heard me say it 15 times this year. But very few can continue to show up daily. And that's why consistency looks boring and results look rare. And this is why inside of our community, in our culture here at JSC, we talk about systems. We don't rely on your mood. But we do rely on the systems that help create that mood. We focus on the systems that build execution, that desire the reflection, that leads you to discovery. Small promises kept that keep consistently showing up. And James Clear, if you've never looked him up, check him out, says it well. A habit missed is a mistake, but a habit missed twice is the start of a new habit. This is not about perfection. This is about identity. And who are you when motivation doesn't show up? Because here's the truth about this season of life and where this season of life is heading going into March and April. All the budgets are finalized, hiring managers are re-engaged, and momentum is increasing all over the board when it comes to searching for jobs. And the people who are going to win in March are the ones who stayed steady in February. They weren't going to be the loudest on LinkedIn. They're definitely not the most dramatic on LinkedIn. They were steady in their system and their firm foundation. So when I started to think that, what does this all mean? It was really the reset. I want you to physically do something right now. And science shows this, that when you combine thoughts, listening, and then physical activity, it sticks. So if you don't have a notepad, grab a notepad for just a second. Give you a moment to do that. And then I want you to open up, of course, to a blank page. And I want you to write this down. Number 1. What promises have I been avoiding? Number 2. What is the smallest version of that promise? Number 3. When will I complete it within the next 24 hours? Not next week, not when you feel ready, but within 24 hours. Remember, it should be small. If you've been avoiding networking, maybe the small version is one message. If you've been avoiding updating your resume, maybe the small version is fixing one bullet. If you've been avoiding applying blind, maybe the small version is researching one single company. Remember, discipline is not dramatic. It's personal. It's the quiet moment where you have to decide, am I going to keep promises to myself? And I want to remind you of this when you feel worn out and tired, that your future self is watching. What would tomorrow you want from today you? Bet you they don't want perfection. I bet you they don't want overzealous intensity. They just want credibility. And when you have credibility, you can start to make choices, and choices create chances, and chances create changes. This is not about landing a job today. This is about becoming someone you can rely on. Motivation is always welcome. It's great when it's there. But discipline is dependable. And you don't need to feel fired up. You just need to decide who you are when the feelings of motivation are not there. Keep the promises, because that's who you are. All right. I hope that lands well with you guys. I hope that you can see the sincerity in what I'm trying to build and design here for all of us in this community, is that the focus is really about doing the hard things during the hard times, because that's going to allow us to accelerate and perform extremely well when things start to go well for us. And I firmly believe that everybody on here is going to have an exceptional season this year. We just have to stay focused over the next several weeks leading into, of course, March and April. And that way we can execute, take that next step, and build towards the future. All right, so I know there's a lot going on this week, so I'm going to pause now, open it up to the community to be able to ask any questions. And as always, I appreciate you guys joining us for Mindset Monday, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.